Today's video, how to flirt like a man, not a boy. Women love this. Welcome to another video where I teach you how to become a real man of value, attract the right women, and build respect everywhere you go. Listen to me carefully, because this might change the way you see yourself forever. I'm telling you this because I've been there, awkward, overlooked, frustrated, wondering why women never noticed me. But I discovered a way to flip the game completely, a way to command attraction without trying too hard, without begging, without fake confidence. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you may change everything. Listen to me carefully, because this might change the way you see yourself forever. I'm telling you this because I've been there, staring at the same girl week after week, hoping she notices me, feeling like every attempt I make just falls flat. I know the frustration of trying to say the right thing, but ending up sounding nervous or awkward. I know the sting of rejection, not because you weren't good enough, but because you weren't showing the kind of masculine presence that naturally draws her in. Here's the thing most men never realize. Flirting like a boy is easy, because anyone can fumble words, try to impress, or overcompensate with humor. But flirting like a man, that's a completely different game. It's subtle, it's powerful, it's magnetic, and it's built on something far deeper than any cheesy pickup line or over-the-top gesture. I remember a time when I was that guy who tried way too hard, laughing too loud, leaning in too much, saying things I thought would impress her, only to get a polite smile or worse, no response at all. I thought confidence was about acting like I didn't care, but deep down, I was desperate for approval. That desperation, it's invisible, but women feel it instantly. It's like a radar for insecurity. Then I had a wake-up moment. I was talking to a friend, a guy who somehow had this effortless connection with women. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't rich, he wasn't smooth in a movie sense. But every woman he interacted with seemed to light up around him. I asked him, "What's your secret?" And he laughed. He said something I'll never forget. "It's not about what I say, it's about how I make them feel about me." That hit me like a lightning bolt. I realized I had been trying to impress women with words, with gestures, with jokes, but I had never focused on being the kind of man who naturally commands respect, curiosity, and attraction. I had been playing the boy game, and let me tell you, when you switch to playing the man game, everything changes. The core problem most men face isn't that they don't know how to flirt. The problem is, they don't understand what women are truly attracted to. Women don't just want a funny guy or a handsome guy. They want a man who has presence, confidence, and a quiet authority. A man who knows who he is, values himself, and doesn't chase validation. That's the kind of energy that draws women in effortlessly without you even trying. And here's the part most guys miss. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need the perfect body, the perfect job, or the perfect wardrobe. You need to build what I call your magnetic foundation. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you hold your energy in a room. Women sense it immediately. They can tell when a man is grounded, when he has direction, and when he's comfortable in his own skin. That presence is more seductive than any pickup line. I know some of you are thinking, that sounds great, but how do I even start? That's exactly why you're here, because I'm going to show you the step-by-step way to flip the switch from boy to man in the way you flirt. And it's not about tricks or manipulation. It's about mastery over yourself, your energy, and your presence. Think about the last time you saw a confident man with a woman. Did he try too hard to make her laugh? Did he fumble for words or overcompensate? No. He moved through the interaction with calm assurance. He spoke with intention. He didn't need approval. And that's why she was drawn to him. It wasn't magic, it was mastery. I'm telling you this because I've transformed myself from that nervous, insecure guy into someone who women notice naturally, who commands respect, and who moves through life with confidence. I've seen it change every aspect of my life, not just with women, but in business, friendships, and every social interaction. And I know it can change yours too. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the subtle yet powerful principles that separate boys from men in the world of attraction. You'll see why most guys fail without even knowing it, and how to step into a level of masculine energy that makes flirting feel natural, exciting, and deeply effective. So stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you may change everything. You're about to learn the art of flirting like a man, and I promise, once you understand this, women won't just notice you, they'll be drawn to you. Let's dive deeper, because if you want to flirt like a man, and not a boy, you first need to understand why most guys fail at this. I'm going to be brutally honest with you, because sugarcoating won't help you. Most men make the same mistakes over and over again. They think attraction is about lines, gifts, or trying to be funny. They believe women respond to grand gestures or being the loudest guy in the room. And when it doesn't work, they panic, try harder, and come off desperate. I've been there. I've done it, and I've seen it destroy opportunities before they even had a chance. Here's the core problem. Men don't understand what women are actually wired to respond to. Women aren't drawn to men who are needy. They're not drawn to men who over-explain themselves, who seek approval, or who act like they're constantly competing for attention. That's the boy mentality, and it's invisible in plain sight. Women sense insecurity immediately. It's subconscious, it's instinctual, and no amount of jokes or flashy moves can hide it. Think about it. When you see a confident man with a woman, it's never his words that hold her attention. It's his energy, his presence, his ability to make her feel intrigued, safe, and subtly challenged at the same time. That combination triggers something powerful in the female mind. It's biology and psychology at work. Here's what most men miss. Attraction starts in the man, not in the interaction. You can't create genuine attraction by doing tricks, mimicking behaviors, or following scripts. You create it by building yourself the way you move, speak, and own your space. That's what women respond to. That's what separates boys from men. Let me give you a real-life example. I once knew a guy who would send endless messages, try to make her laugh, and basically beg for attention. On the surface, he seemed invested, caring, and attentive. But what actually happened? She lost interest. Why? Because his actions screamed neediness. She could feel his energy before she even read the words. That's the psychology you need to understand. Women don't read scripts, they read energy. So what does this mean for you? First, you have to be aware of your own behavior. Ask yourself, are my actions coming from confidence or from a need for validation? Are my words and gestures demonstrating value, or are they trying to prove it? Awareness is the first step toward change. Next, you need to understand the mistakes men make in conversation. Most guys fall into these traps, over-explaining themselves to seem interesting, complimenting too early, too often, or in a generic way, trying to be one of the girls instead of a man, responding to every text instantly, no matter what they're doing, over-apologizing or softening their presence to avoid rejection. All of these behaviors signal one thing: neediness, and neediness kills attraction. Now let's talk about what women actually respond to. Women respond to men who have presence, who carry themselves with quiet authority, and who create emotional tension in the right way. Tension doesn't mean conflict, it means intrigue. It means a man is slightly unpredictable, confident, and not desperate for her approval. Women feel drawn to that because it triggers curiosity and desire. This is why confidence isn't just about being bold or loud. It's about being grounded. It's about knowing your worth and not needing validation from anyone. Women instinctively recognize men who live by this standard. They feel it in subtle ways: the tone of your voice, the way you hold eye contact, the ease with which you move through life. Another crucial insight most men overlook: attraction is emotional, not logical. You can't argue someone into being attracted to you. You can't explain why she should like you. You have to create feelings, interest, curiosity, excitement through your energy and your behavior. That's the difference between flirting like a boy and flirting like a man. I want you to imagine this. You walk into a room and every interaction you have leaves an impression. Not because you try too hard, but because your energy commands attention. Women notice. People respect you, and you no longer have to chase validation because you've built your internal foundation. That's the mental shift most men never make. And here's the key. Once you understand the psychology, the mistakes, and what women respond to, everything else becomes easy. Flirting is no longer about memorizing lines or pretending to be someone else. It's about expressing your authentic masculine energy in a way that naturally excites and attracts. I've guided countless men through this transformation. I've watched shy, awkward guys become magnetic simply by shifting their mindset, adjusting their energy, and understanding the psychological rules women respond to. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this series. So start paying attention to your energy, your presence, and your intentions. Stop trying to impress, stop trying to force connection, and start building your magnetic foundation. Because when you do that, flirting like a man isn't just possible, it becomes effortless. Women will notice, attraction will happen naturally, and you'll step into a level of confidence you didn't even think was possible. Now that you understand why most men fail and what women are actually drawn to, it's time to focus on transformation, the real shift that separates boys from men. I'm talking about a mindset overhaul and the adoption of masculine behaviors that make attraction feel effortless. This is where the game changes. First, let's talk about mindset. If you want to flirt like a man, you have to start from a place of self-value. That means you don't look for validation, attention, or approval from women, or anyone for that matter. Your worth isn't determined by her reaction to you. It's already there, internal, unwavering, unshakable. This mindset alone changes everything about the way you interact. Women notice it instantly because it radiates confidence without arrogance. Next, you need to understand emotional strength. Emotional strength isn't about being stoic or unfeeling. It's about managing your energy and responding, not reacting. When a woman teases you, challenges you, or tests you, your response matters more than anything you say. A man responds with calm, measured confidence. He's grounded, he's unshaken. That emotional stability is magnetic. Now let's talk behaviors, the signals women pick up on subconsciously. Body language is everything. Your posture, your gestures, the way you move, even the way you breathe, all communicate your level of confidence. Stand tall, shoulders back, chest slightly forward. Make your movements deliberate, slow, and intentional. Avoid fidgeting, slouching, or constantly checking your phone. These small details either build attraction or destroy it. Eye contact is another critical element. A man doesn't shy away. He holds her gaze long enough to create tension, curiosity, and connection, but never in a creepy or aggressive way. This is a silent signal of confidence and interest. Combined with a relaxed, controlled smile, it can create more intrigue than any words you could say. Tone of voice also plays a massive role. Speak slowly, clearly, and with intention. Avoid high-pitched, rushed, or nervous tones. Your voice should carry calm authority. When you speak like a man, women subconsciously feel your presence. They feel your stability. They feel the pull. Now let's address mystery, something most men completely ignore. Mystery is magnetic. It's the art of revealing yourself selectively, not oversharing every thought, feeling, or detail about your life. When you create subtle intrigue, she's naturally drawn to discover more. You don't need to tell your story up front. You show value through your energy, your actions, and your choices. The less predictable you are in a composed way, the more compelling you become. Another key principle is value. A high-value man lives by his own standards. He has goals, ambitions, passions, and a life outside of seeking attention. Women are drawn to men who have purpose, direction, and independence. That doesn't mean you need to be rich or famous. It means you need to demonstrate that your life is fulfilling, exciting, and meaningful. That energy is irresistible. Here's a simple exercise to understand this. Next time you interact with a woman, notice how your energy flows. Are you giving her power over your emotions by overreacting or trying too hard to impress? Or are you holding your presence, remaining calm, and expressing your interest through confident, subtle signals? When you master this, attraction becomes almost automatic. Flirting like a man also means using playful tension, teasing, light challenges, and playful banter signal that you're confident, fun, and dominant in your energy, but always respectful. You never demean or belittle. Instead, you create an emotional roller coaster that engages her curiosity and desire. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking that respect and masculinity are at odds with fun. The truth is, the man who knows his value can tease, joke, and flirt without losing presence or control. That balance is what makes women feel both safe and excited. They sense a man who's grounded but unpredictable, who can hold his energy while making them laugh. Here's something most men overlook. Silence is powerful. You don't need to fill every gap in conversation. A confident pause, a slow response, or a meaningful look can say more than words ever could. Silence creates space for curiosity, for anticipation, for attraction to grow naturally. Another transformation you need is your approach to rejection. Flirting like a man doesn't mean every interaction ends with her liking you. It means you handle rejection with grace, composure, and self-respect. You don't beg, you don't over-explain, and you don't collapse emotionally. You walk away with dignity, knowing that every interaction is a reflection of your energy, not a judgment of your value. Finally, respect, both for yourself and for her, is non-negotiable. True masculinity is never about coercion or manipulation. It's about presence, integrity, and authenticity. When you respect yourself, women feel it. When you respect her, it creates a safe space for attraction to blossom naturally. I want you to start integrating these behaviors gradually. Hold strong posture and controlled gestures. Speak deliberately, with calm authority. Maintain meaningful eye contact. Create mystery by revealing selectively. Demonstrate value through your lifestyle, energy, and purpose. Use playful tension and banter while staying respectful. Embrace silence and pause strategically. Handle rejection with emotional strength and dignity. This combination of mindset, energy, and behavior is what turns a boy into a man in the world of attraction. When you internalize this, flirting becomes effortless. You're no longer chasing, you're creating magnetic presence. Women notice, people respect you, and your confidence spreads into every area of your life. The men I've mentored who truly commit to these principles don't just become better with women, they become better men overall. They carry themselves with authority, they express themselves authentically, and they attract opportunities, relationships, and respect that used to feel out of reach. This is your turning point. The choice is yours. Continue with the boy mentality, fumbling through interactions and hoping for luck, or step into the mindset, behaviors, and energy of a man who naturally attracts women while commanding respect everywhere he goes. Once you embrace these principles, you'll notice a shift almost immediately. Your presence will change, your interactions will change, and the way women respond to you will feel effortless, natural, and undeniable. Now that you understand the mindset and behaviors of a high-value man, it's time to see how it plays out in real life. Theory is powerful, but application is where transformation happens. I'm going to give you concrete examples so you can see exactly how a man who flirts like a man, not a boy, moves through different situations. Let's start with the workplace or school. Most guys think they need to impress her by showing off their knowledge, being overly helpful, or constantly trying to be the center of attention. That's the boy mentality. A high-value man does the opposite. He interacts with confidence, he listens more than he talks, and he contributes value without desperation. For example, if she's telling a story, a man leans in slightly, maintains eye contact, and responds with curiosity instead of trying to one-up her. He makes her feel seen without overcompensating. That subtle difference creates intrigue and attraction that most guys completely miss. Texting is another place where men blow it. The average guy responds instantly, over-explains, and fills messages with emojis or jokes in an attempt to keep her engaged. That's exhausting, and neediness screams through the screen. A high-value man texts strategically. He's deliberate. He doesn't feel compelled to reply instantly. His messages are concise, playful, and often leave her wanting more. For example, instead of sending a paragraph explaining your day, you might send a short, confident message like, "Just finished my workout, feeling unstoppable today." It's a simple statement, but it communicates confidence, energy, and independence. Now, let's talk dating. The boy flirts with nervous energy, seeking approval and validation. A high-value man flirts with calm assurance. He uses playful teasing, maintains strong eye contact, and subtly challenges her in conversation without being disrespectful. For example, if she jokes about something silly, a boy might over-apologize or try too hard to be funny. A man responds with playful confidence. "Oh, really? I'm going to have to keep an eye on you then." That creates tension, curiosity, and attraction simultaneously. Cold approaches, meeting a woman you don't know, are often terrifying for most men. The boy hesitates, overthinks, and fumbles for words. A high-value man approaches with purpose and presence. He makes eye contact first, enters with a relaxed smile, and opens with a simple, confident line that reflects his energy, not a script. For example, "Hey, I couldn't help but notice your energy from across the room. Mind if I join you?" It's direct, calm, and intriguing, and it immediately sets him apart from 90% of other men who rely on gimmicks. Even when a woman loses interest or pulls away, a high-value man behaves differently. Most men panic, they chase, beg for attention, or over-explain themselves. That desperation kills attraction. A man doesn't react from neediness. He remains calm, maintains his presence, and subtly signals value without overcompensation. For example, if she becomes distant in texts, a man might wait before responding, craft a short and playful message, and continue focusing on his life. This creates tension and curiosity, which often reignites her interest naturally. Here's another scenario. She flirts with others or shows attention to other men. The boy reacts with jealousy, insecurity, or attempts to prove himself. A high-value man stays grounded. He maintains his composure, expresses playful confidence, and never compromises his self-respect. Women notice this stability. It signals that he's not dependent on their approval, which ironically makes him more attractive. Even in group settings, a high-value man stands out effortlessly. Most guys try too hard to impress everyone, constantly seeking validation from peers. The man knows his presence carries weight without being loud. He engages selectively, makes others feel good without overdoing it, and uses subtle eye contact and body language to create attraction naturally. Women notice this immediately. They're drawn to the calm, grounded energy rather than the noisy attempts to be liked. Let's also look at texting when she pulls away after a date. The boy freaks out, sends multiple messages, and apologizes for things that weren't his fault. The high-value man does the opposite. He pauses, focuses on his life, and sends a single message that's confident and playful. "I had a great time the other day. Let me know when you're free next." That short, composed message communicates interest without desperation. It keeps the tension alive, shows he has a life outside her, and demonstrates emotional control. Another common example, the friend zone trap. The boy tries to be overly nice, overly available, and thinks that eventually she'll notice him. The high-value man shifts the dynamic. He maintains boundaries, demonstrates his value through actions and energy, and subtly introduces playful tension that sparks attraction. For instance, instead of saying yes to every request, He prioritizes his life and schedule, and when he interacts, he does so with focused presence and confidence. That shift alone often flips the friend zone dynamic overnight. Even online interactions follow the same rules. Most men overcomplicate things with long messages, excessive compliments, or needy follow-ups. A man keeps his profile strong, his messages concise, and his energy confident. He uses humor, intrigue, and subtle challenge to engage women. For example, instead of a generic, "Hey, how's your day?" he might say, "I have a bet with my friends. Guess what I did today that almost got me kicked out of a coffee shop?" Curiosity, confidence, and storytelling instantly make him stand out. Finally, a high-value man is consistent across all areas. He doesn't have one persona for work, one for texting, and one for dating. His energy, confidence, and presence are steady. This consistency builds trust, intrigue, and natural attraction. Women notice a man who is steady, composed, and fully himself. It's magnetic. Every scenario I've described boils down to one thing: presence, energy, and self-mastery. Whether you're at school, work, on a date, texting, or facing distance and rejection, the way you carry yourself, the way you manage your emotions, and the way you project confidence determines attraction. Start applying these examples step by step. Observe how your energy shifts interactions. Notice how women respond differently when you lead with presence, confidence, and emotional control. This is the practical side of flirting like a man, not a boy. It's not about luck, scripts, or trying too hard. It's about mastery of yourself and your energy. When you integrate these practices into your life, you'll see results everywhere: texting, dating, social situations, and even in professional or casual settings. Women will notice your presence. People will respect you. And most importantly, you'll begin to feel the confidence and magnetic energy of a man who knows his value and flirts from a place of power, not neediness. Now that you've seen the mindset, behaviors, and real-life application of flirting like a man, it's time to bring everything together. This is where theory meets action and where your transformation begins. I want you to take a moment and really absorb what we've covered. You've learned why most men fail, what women actually respond to, how to build your energy and presence, and how to apply it in every real-life scenario, from texting to dating, from casual encounters to the friend zone trap. But none of this matters unless you take action. Knowledge without implementation is useless. Here's the truth: change isn't easy. It takes discipline, awareness, and practice. You will feel uncomfortable at first because you're stepping out of old habits, the boy mentality that kept you stuck, insecure, and overlooked. But that discomfort is a sign of growth. Every high-value man you've ever admired has walked through the same challenge. They felt fear, uncertainty, and rejection, but they persisted. And that's exactly what separates men from boys: action in the face of fear. Start small. Begin with your energy, presence, and mindset. Observe yourself in interactions. Notice when you're seeking approval, over-explaining, or acting from neediness. Catch yourself and redirect. Stand taller, speak slower, hold eye contact, smile subtly. Let your actions communicate your value more than your words ever could. These small adjustments are the foundation of transformation. Next, embrace the power of emotional strength. Women are drawn to men who are grounded, who respond rather than react, and who maintain composure under pressure. When she teases, tests, or pulls away, you remain calm, confident, and measured. You don't chase, you don't panic. You communicate value through presence and self-respect. That's magnetic. Playfulness and tension are your allies. Use them strategically to create curiosity, intrigue, and desire. Remember, attraction is emotional, not logical. Women respond to how you make them feel, not to what you say. When you master this, flirting stops feeling like a game of lines and tricks. It becomes a natural expression of your energy and masculinity. Mystery is another crucial tool. Reveal selectively. Let her want to know more about you. You don't need to overshare or lay out your life on a silver platter. Your experiences, your ambition, and your passions become more attractive when they are conveyed through energy, action, and subtle storytelling. That's what separates men from boys, the ability to draw others in without chasing attention. And let's talk about value. Your value, your lifestyle, your purpose. A high-value man lives fully outside the approval of others. He has goals, passions, and a life that excites him. That energy is irresistible. Women are drawn to men who are independent, purposeful, and ambitious. That's not arrogance, it's authenticity. It's a quiet confidence that doesn't need to prove itself, yet naturally attracts. Now here's the most important part: consistency. You don't become a high-value man overnight. You won't flip a switch and have instant results. The men who succeed are the ones who integrate these principles into their daily lives. They make presence, confidence, emotional strength, mystery, and value a habit, not a temporary strategy. Consistency is what turns short-term effort into permanent transformation. I want you to commit to this. Start today. Observe your energy, take action in conversations, experiment with your presence, and practice these principles daily. Fail, learn, adjust, and grow. Each interaction is an opportunity to refine your energy, build confidence, and strengthen your masculine presence. Remember, attraction starts with you. If you want women to notice, respect, and desire you, it begins with your mindset, your energy, and your self-mastery. No lines, no gimmicks, no tricks, just authentic, high-value masculinity. You are capable of this change. You are capable of stepping into the man you want to be. The man who commands respect, naturally attracts women, and navigates life with confidence and emotional strength. You've learned the blueprint. Now it's your turn to implement it, live it, and become that man. So here's my final advice. Don't wait for validation, don't chase approval, and don't let fear hold you back. Step into your presence, own your energy, and flirt like a man. Make every interaction an expression of your value, confidence, and authentic masculinity. Take action today, because the man you want to be isn't going to wait for permission. This is your moment. Your transformation starts now, and once you embrace it, once you commit to mastery over yourself, you'll look back and realize you've become the kind of man women notice, respect, and desire, and the kind of man you've always wanted to be. Step into it, own it, and never look back. Before you go, remember this. You don't become a high-value man overnight. It's not about being perfect. It's about improving, step by step. Real men don't chase, they attract. Real men don't beg, they build value. And real men don't look for validation. They become the kind of man that doesn't need it. If this video helped you, then do something most men never do. Take action. Subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video with a brother who needs to hear this message. And tell me in the comments, what kind of man are you becoming from now on? I'll be here to guide you. Stay strong, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next video.